Hi, I'm Eric. I'm going to talk about how to set up the wireless flash on Nikon SB-600 and SB-800. I know the SB-900 is up, but I'm not sure if I want to spend $400 on it yet. Okay, so first, we have to enable the flash. I have it set up in My Menu, Flash Control for Built-in Flash. Right now it's set to TTL, which is through the lens. If we were using the flashes remotely disconnected, like no external flashes on the camera, we're just using the built-in one to remote control the flashes, we would go in here. This limits us to 2 external flashes. We can set whether or not each flash is on, and we can adjust the compensation for how bright it is, and then we can set our channel. The channel determines which flashes fire. So if you're shooting with other photographers and you don't want to trigger their flashes, you have to make sure you're all on your separate channels. Each of your flashes will all be on the same channel. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is set up the options that I have for the camera. Modeling flash will allow you to sample the light for about 1 second. All the flashes will fire in a very fast strobe for 1 second to give you an idea of the light layout. I don't know if it's very useful or not, but that's where you turn it on or off if you don't want to use it. And that gets used when you use the preview button. Now we're going to set the preview button. So I have all the buttons under My Menu. Assign preview button. So we're going to assign the preview button to preview. So that's the top button on the front. When I press that, the camera will stop down to the aperture that I have set, and it'll also fire the flash, now that I have modeling flash enabled. The next button I'm going to set is this one right here, the AE lock, FV lock. We're going to set that to FV lock, which is flash value lock. That's going to allow us to pre-measure the flash exposure so that when we take a picture there's no delay. Normally, if you don't enable this, when you take a picture, this is going to fire to tell the other flashes to each fire, and each one has to fire one at a time for the camera to measure the exposure. So if we pre-measure the value, then we can do all that ahead of time, and when we take the picture, then it fires instantly. All the flashes go off at the same time, there's no delay, and the model won't blink. So I already have that set. Where you can, if you want to set the autofocus assist light to be on, the camera has to be in single focus mode. If it's in continuous focus mode, the focus assist light will not come on. And now we're going to set the SB-800 to be a remote. Now whether or not the camera is set to commander mode or TTL mode doesn't matter. Whatever you set the flash for on the top overrides the camera. So in order to switch the flash to remote mode, we're going to hold the middle button down. We're going to go to this little icon here with the squiggly lines. Hit the middle button, go down to master. The other option is master repeat. Remote, which would make this a client, or SU4, that'll fire the flash at a preset value that you put on the flash whenever any flash fires. So it's kind of a traditional mode. So we go into master, and now hit OK to get out. Now we can set the value of the power for each flash. So M is the master flash, so if you don't want the master flash to contribute to the exposure, we can leave that off. We'll go down to Group A, hit Mode, TTL, Group B, TTL, Group C, TTL. We can adjust the exposure of each group up to 3 stops either way. There is a flash adjustment on the camera itself, and that allows you to go one stop up or one stop down, and that will affect all the channels or all the groups, but it only allows you to do one stop, but it affects them all at the same time. If I'm bouncing a flash, I tend to add one stop to the exposure of that flash. And then, alright, now the SB-800 and camera are ready, we're going to set up the SB-600. Okay, here we have our SB-600 set on default. Oh, by the way, I use Eneloop batteries. Eneloop are different than regular lithium-ion batteries or nickel metal hydride in that they don't self-discharge. Or they do, but at a very low rate compared to regular nickel metal hydride batteries. After about a year, they only lose about 15% of their battery capacity, so they're great for flashes when you're not using them all the time, or spare batteries, like you're not sure if they're charged or not. These ones will hold their charge for a long time. Back to the SB-600. Turn it on. In order to get into the remote mode, we hit the bottom and left button at the same time for 1 second. The squiggly line means remote flash is off, so we're going to hit mode to turn it on, and I'm going to quickly go through the other settings for you. The little light means the flash will blink while it's in remote mode. I don't remember RL. The little music symbol means it'll beep every single time you take a picture, and 3 times if it's underexposed. So then we're going to hit OK. Now we need to set our channel and group. So I do mode, channel 3. That's the default channel, so that's what I'm going to use. I suppose if you wanted to avoid people, you could switch the channels since 3 is the default. And group, this one is going to be group C. So this one's ready, and I have it set for 24mm, which means it's going to be a wide spread. I'll set up the next one. We're going to do all 3 groups. That one's group 3B. And group 3A. So we got A, B, and C. Okay. Now we have our flashes set up for a demonstration. A is on the right, B is in the middle, and C is on the left. The basic consumer line of Nikon SLRs allows you to have 1 remote flash, to check your manual to be sure, but starting with the D70, a lot of them had that feature. The D300, D700 allow up to 2 remote flashes, and if you add an SB-800, the SB-800 can control 3 flashes. And the new SB-900 has 4 wireless channels, but neither the 800 or SB-600 have channel D, so you're going to have to buy SB-900s for clients also, which is pretty expensive. Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate a test fire here. A test fire lets you ensure that all the flashes are able to see the master. They'll fire one at a time, starting with A. So that means all of our flashes are within range. And now we can press the AE flash value lock. All the flashes fire. Now we've measured our exposure. And then we can preview our flash with the modeling button. And I don't have master contributing. So now all 4 flashes are going to fire for a second. I don't know if that's very useful, but that's how you use it. Okay, so we're going to pre-measure our flash value lock again. All 3 flashes fired. And then when we take our picture, there's no pre-flash. So whoever you're shooting at won't have a chance to blink, which is what we want. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you want me to make any other tutorials. Bye.